Hello, this is part 9 of our tutorial video. In this video, we're gonna cover sales tax. So we're gonna talk about state sales tax and also a little bit about out of state, also known as use tax. So let's get started. So this is QuickBooks 2015 desktop, and if you go to the home page, this is on my home page here. To go to home page, basically you go to company and then home page in here, home page, and so home page you see manage sales tax. So this one, it will cover almost everything about how to handle the sales tax, and except out of state or use tax, that part we have to deal differently. All right, let's get started. Let's click this one here. So if you click it here, so it'll give you a few things here. The first one is so set up sales tax here. That's the first thing you want to do. So before you do that, you need to get some information like who is your sales tax agency in your state, and some of the information like what is your sales tax rate, and some of the stuff you need to get that from your sales tax agency. Let's click this one. So the first thing you want to do is when you install it, the setup may say just no, and you just click yes. So this is do you start sales tax, and you should say yes. You can start sales tax, and then this is the one. So you need to add sales tax as item, just like a product list. So you just need to add sales tax item, and if we click it here, I already have one set up in here since I'm in California, San Diego County. So I already have San Diego County set up in here. So all you have to do is just click this one. When you click it, so you will see the sales tax item. This is just like when you click your item list right here. Let's close this one. So it comes from here, list, item list. So item list, this is where you add your product, services, non-inventory and everything. Item list here. So all we have to do is right click it to add new. So this is to add new one. Doesn't matter, product, service, non-inventory. This is everything to do with adding new item. So this one, so then to give you the menu type here: service, non-inventory, other charge, subtotal, group, discount, and item. So item here, this is the one you want to select, and then you have a sales tax group. So what's the difference with item and sales tax? So sales tax is if you have just one rate, like in California, I'm in San Diego, we pay 8%. But it's sometime, and if you are in a small county, they may have a city tax here. So if you have a city tax, you got to add county tax and city tax, and then you have to group it together. All right. So we'll go back to that one a little bit later on. So let's start with the item list here. So item list here. So I already have it here. So if you right click it, you will see it. So in San Diego, we have 8% red. This is for the county. And then you have 8% description, same as this one. And you put the tax rate here, 8%, 8.00. So if you have 8 and quarter, you just change this to 8 and quarter like that. So you need to find out what is your tax rate here in your state. And then, so this is tax agency that you pay when you write a check. This is where you pay your sales tax. So you need to set up like a vendor list. So vendor list. So you just add a vendor list, add new. You'll say add new, and just say what's the name of your agency here. Just like creating a vendor list. So create a vendor right here. In California, we pay to Board of Equalization. So that's where we have in here. All right. So, and let's say you have another city tax here. All right, let's create a new one. sales tax item. Let's say we have a small city here. Let's say Vista. And let's say they charge 0.25%, and we still pay that to the same agency, tax agency, so it still goes to the same place. So like this one here. So click save. So now you have San Diego County, and then Vista City, that's 0.25%. So in your city, it could be different, but I'm just giving you an example here. So San Diego County 8 and Vista City 0.25%. Let's say you sold something to Vista, you end up paying 8.25%. So this is when you will need to group it. Sales tax group, and let's say Vista, and then you have to select from, one is 8% and the other one is 0.25%. So now you're paying group rate of 25%, 8.25%. That's how you get it. So in some places you may have more than two, more than four, so it depends how the distribution, city distribution you have for your sales tax. So let's say click it, save it. So now you have the Vista. Now you pay 8.25%. All right. So let's go back to the setup one right here, and sales tax preferences. So you just add in here. This is the first one you really use, commonly use. Normally it's 8%. If you use the other one, Vista 8.25%, you just select this one. So in this case, we use San Diego County 8%, and the other one is a small city. If you do business from that one, so that's the one you want to select. This one here, the group one. All right, and then you have a taxable item code. This is the part you will see when you invoice it. So when you invoice it, so you will see tax in here. Is it taxable or non-taxable here? So let's just select preferences, stay in here, and then the thing you need to figure out is when you talk to your tax agency, like are you on accrual basis or cash basis? This is a very important one. So you need to call or find out from your tax agency, is it accrual basis or cash basis. So in the state of California, it's always on accrual basis. It doesn't matter whether you bill it and you haven't collected sales tax. It doesn't matter. So you just have to pay it in advance. Either whether you have collected the sales tax or not, it doesn't matter. So it's based on accrual, not on cash basis. So like here, there's the state of California. So you need to figure out from the website, is it on sales tax on accrual or cash basis. So it says right here, payment of sales tax is on accrual basis and not on a cash basis. So that's it. So you need to go to tax agency and ask, do you accept cash basis or it's always on accrual basis? So if you have cash basis, you pay when you get money from your customer. When they pay you, then you pay sales tax to your tax agency. But in this case, accrual basis, you invoice it and your sales tax is due. And the second thing you need to figure out is it on a monthly basis, or quarterly basis, or annually. So they will tell you, hey, you on monthly basis or quarterly basis or annually when you have to pay your sales tax. It's possible you may have to just file it quarterly and still may have to pay it monthly. So you need to talk to your tax agency, sales tax agency, like in California, it's a board of equalization. All right, so this is critical one. Accrual basis or cash basis, and then you just select the sales tax item right here. And if you're paying more than one rate, then you have to set up the group rate like this one, your Vista. So that's what you have to do. All right, and now let's go back to the items again. Sales tax item. So in this case, we have a couple of things set up here. The sales tax item 8% for the San Diego County and 20.25% for the city, and then this is the group one, 8.25%. So that's how you do it, and the use tax, we'll come back to that later on. So and then now you're all ready to cut your invoice. All right, let's just go to the invoice part. So it doesn't matter invoice or sales receipt. Right here, sales receipt or invoice, you still have to create a sales tax. So you can go from here, create invoices. All right, so I just created a couple of invoices. Here's one invoice. So just select the product and quantity, and then you will say tax in here. So it's taxable. So when you set up your item list, you need to figure out is taxable or not. Here's one product in here. So say tax code is taxable. If it's non-taxable, then you select non-taxable. All right. So let's create a new one again. So create a new one. Just right-click it and say new. And let's just say you want service part. This one I'm not tracking in inventory, so this is a service. So in service, let's just say product B. And you can put the rate in here, $50. And the tax code is if you're taxable, then you select taxable. Let's say in this case it's non-taxable. And account, this is for your income account. Let's just say consulting income. So now we made this product B or service B as non-taxable, and account for the income we selected consulting income account. We'll just select this one. All right, let's create invoice. So first you need to figure out your XYZ is a customer name. I just created one here, so I can create a new one. Let's say it's the name of the customer, and the quantity is, let's say, 5. So if you're just doing service, you can just leave it blank. It still count as 1. So always if you leave it blank, it's always count as 1. So here's a product B. As you can see here, it's N, it's non-taxable. So if you select product A, it will say taxable. So let's say this is $100 type. So taxable and non-taxable. So the invoice will calculate tax on this one. As you can see here, 8% on $100 and nothing on $50. All right. So if you have a group, then you select the group one, which is this one here. It will calculate 8.25%. So just stick with this and then save it. So it's basically you have one is non-taxable, the other one is taxable. So save and close. All right. So now if you go to the your liability report now, it will tell you how much you owe so far. As you can see here, So you can see here is the total sales. So it's this one. This is as of end of October. I just refreshed it because we just added one in October. So total sales comes to 2250, and then out of that is non-taxable sales. This is the one we just created, $50, and then you have taxable sales of 2200, and 8% is your tax rate, and tax collected, not paid, doesn't matter, it's due on accrual basis. So this is the amount you owe as of October 31st, 176. All right. So now, when you're ready to pay it, don't use this one. Don't write checks. Not from here. Not write a check. You can write a check, but not from here. So you write a check to Board of Equalization for whatever amount is, but don't do it from here. So if you do it from here, then you're creating a big mess. Not from here or not from here. And even if you do online payment or wire transfer or your EFT, you always have to come back in here and either follow this one, or in here under vendors you will see under sales tax, pay sales tax right here, pay sales tax right here, or you can just click it here and pay sales tax right here. So this is the one you want to use, pay sales tax right here. This is the one you want to use. All right, and now so now you have let's say you have a out of state or use tax, how to handle it. In QuickBooks, they don't cover very much, so you have to be creative, and so you have to come up with some way to record out of state sales tax and pay to Board of Equalization, that's in California. So what you need to do is go to vendors in here. From the, you can go from home page. So this is the one you want to use, interbill. So we're going to create a zero bill, so it's known as zero bill, and so this is the one we're going to use, interbills. You can go from here or you can go from here, it gets the same place. I already did one here, entry. So as you can see here, so I've created one vendor here. I just said BOE use tax as a vendor, and then what I did here is the so first one. So whenever you have a use tax that you owe them, it's your expense. So you have to create a sales tax expense in a chart of accounts. So you go to chart of accounts, you will see sales tax expense in here. So you got to create a sales tax expense account if you need to pay out of state sales tax. So sales tax expense right here. So you have to create a sales tax expense account. So that's your company expense. And also, in order to set up, you also need to create a liability account. In this case, I just created right here. I just said BOE use sales tax in here. This is current liability account. And so this is the main one. So when you say yes, we need to collect sales tax, the QuickBooks will create this account. So it's automatically will create this account when you say you collect sales tax. So right here, so it should be part of the chart of accounts, and if not, you will need to create a sales tax payable account, and it's under current liability right here. So I created this use tax payable. This is the one whenever you have out of state tax you owe to the sales tax Board of Equalization in our case. So you just create this one. All right, so now let's go back to the entry one here. So it's basically, this is your $80. So let's say first of all, before you go to the example here. Let's say we bought something from ABC, and you put the vendor information purpose here. ABC is your vendor, and the invoice date right here, and the invoice number, and the total amount of that bill invoice vendor bill. So let's say in this case 8%, a $1,000 is the invoice amount, and we have to pay use tax of 8%. So it comes to $80. So you owe $80 to your state sales tax agency. So expense is sales tax expense is $80, and then we have this liability account, sales tax, use tax payable, and you just put the negative amount here. So the moment you put the negative amount, it's basically it will credit your liability account. And as I said, this is doing it instead of writing journal. We're just creating a zero bill here, and the amount is always zero, and it will say paid. So this is how you have to do it to create your use tax payment due to agency. So this is how you do it. And now it's not done yet. So now let's say it's time to pay it. So let's go to here, or you can go from here. It's the same thing. Pay sales tax right here. All right. And before we do that, let's go to balance sheet first. I mean, it's always have right here. This is the balance sheet. As you can see here, so according to a balance sheet, it will say sales tax payable is $176. That's the amount is due, and $80 it comes from. We create a separate account for this one. $80 is for the use tax. So total amount due is $256. Okay. So what we're gonna do is let's go to the home page again. So we're gonna move basically it's $80 over here, and we'll just make one check or one payment of $256. So you don't need to write two checks, just make it one check. So we're gonna make it check for $256. So go to home page again. So manage sales tax, going right here, and we're gonna adjust sales tax due. We're gonna move the $80 to the main sales tax account in here. So adjust sales tax right here. It will just say sales tax adjustment. This one you can use it for various other purpose. If you have like some sort of write-off or some sort of credit note or something like that, you can use it. So in this case, we're going to increase sales tax. The amount is $80 right here, and the vendor we're going to use is this one. We're going to add to the Board of Equalization as vendor, and adjustment account. It comes from BOE, use tax payable. This is a use tax payable account. So it's basically we'll move the money from here to here, and just say it's the use tax. So that's the memo. So you increase your liability. You basically move from one place to another. Say okay. All right, now let's see what happens here. As you can see here, it moved the $80 in here. Now the total is $248, so that's the amount you want to pay. As you can see here, you go to the balance sheet, if you match, so it's $256 right here. So that's the amount we're going to pay. Let's see, we have everything in here or not. All right, so $256. All right, so 256. So just click this one and this one and like this. So you're gonna, if you need to print a check, then you just select this. If you already paid it by online or something, then you don't need to print anything. Just uncheck that one. So if you're gonna write it, if you're gonna print a check, then this is how you do it. So it's to print it. All right, so you can write a check on the next page, check number if you need to write it, and so that's how you have to do it. So if you are just doing the monthly payment, it's kind of small amount. But if you're just writing a small check every month, so this is due, this is the total payment. But if you sometimes you just need to write a monthly payment, you just write a amount in here and pay. So this is the, so you're paying $25 out of 256 due. So that's how you do it. You just enter your own amount if you're making monthly payment or estimate. So that's how you have to do it. And in this case, we're just going to pay everything right here. And before we do that, let's go back to the report one more time. It's just so 256 now. As you can see here, 256, and this $80 was added. That's from out of state or use tax. It's also recorded in here. So right here it will say other, but that's what it is. It's for the other. It's the out of state. Now you have a report in here. So when you fill out the form, you have all the information you need in here. So your total sales right here. The use tax column could be a different, separate one. So you may have to just deal with this 2250 first. That's your total sales, and this $80 probably is a separate column to report for use tax. So you need to check your form. So you got the report right here, very important one. So let's go back to pay bills, sales tax. Pay sales tax right here is 256 again. We just have to change the date in here. So 256. So you're ready to pay the whole thing. Say OK. Done. So now next time you want to see the sales tax, this report is still there, and if you go to the balance sheet, now it's gone. We already paid it, so the money came out from your bank account. So if you click it here, see right here, 256. You paid to equalization here. So that's how you have to do it. So let's go back to, so everything in one place. Just go to the home page, and it's right here. Pay sales tax. And if you need to add items, code list, there's a code list already there. And you want to create all the items in here. So all you have to do is just go to list and item list and right click it and new, and select the sales tax item. Just put the name in here and the tax rate, and this is the tax agency right here. And just you have to create a vendor list. It comes from a vendor list right here like this. So you have to have a vendor list. If it's not there, you have to create a new one. Alright, and the key here is, let's go back to it one more time, the preferences. Right here, the sales tax, you say yes, and just add a sales tax item. If it's just one rate, you just select this one item. If it's a group one, you have to create a group, this plus the other one, and you just create a group and select that one. And then the most important one is you need to call your tax agency and ask them, is it on, can we do it on cash basis? Or they will say, well, no, you just have to pay based on accrual basis. The moment you cut invoice, customer invoice, you owe us tax, sales tax. That's the way it is. And if it's on cash basis, then you have to select this one and then save it. Then at that point, you have to run sales tax on cash basis, and then you will pay when you get the money from the customer. And this one, you just have to select how often you pay your sales tax. Is it on quarterly basis and or on monthly basis? So if it's a monthly basis, right here, the way I have set up in here, and sometimes could be annually, depends. So you have to check with your taxes and see. So basically that covers almost everything you need to know about sales tax. And if it is like some cases, if you don't charge sales tax, let's say you sold something to out of state and they don't have a sales tax, so you just create another one and you just create a sales tax, but it will, let's say, out of state sales tax. So say out of state. So this one is, you'll be using this lot if you do online business. So if you're in California and do business in some in other parts, other states, you don't charge sales tax, so you have to report it, but you don't charge sales tax. Click it OK. Right here it's out of state, and there's no sales tax. It's zero. So when you sell something to out-of-state customer, let's just say New York customer. That's not a good example. Well, maybe let's say New York customer. Quick add. Just this one. Product A. So in this case, non-taxable. Even if you say taxable, and if you select the out-of-state, then you don't calculate anything right here. So if you just, there's nothing in there, it says $100, so you don't calculate anything in here, even if you say tax. But in this case, the product is taxable, but since you're selling out of state, it's non-taxable. So that's how I do it. So you can just select non-taxable sales. So it's the same thing. So this is how you have to do it if you sold something to New York or out of state and they don't charge you sales tax. That's how you do it. But if you have office in New York and doing business from San Diego, California, they may still say, well, you owe us tax. So you got to figure out, consult with your state tax agency. So I think I covered almost everything you need to know about sales tax. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Come back us again. Thank you. Bye. And if you have any other questions, you can also always visit our website. It's a great website. It's newquickbooks.com. Newquickbooks.com. So that website is strictly for QuickBooks Desktop 2015, all the new ones. And some reason if you have QuickBooks Online, the QBO one, we also have another great website. It's newqbo.com. Newqbo.com. Just check it out. Thank you. Bye.